Hi, my name is Yakov Kronrod. I'm a fourth-year PhD student here in the linguistics department at the University of Maryland. I came down here from New England, where I lived for 10 years, but I'm originally an immigrant from Russia, though I've been enjoying the education system here for many years now. Here in the linguistics department, I spent my first 2 years working largely on machine translation applications. We were using monolingual speakers from a lot of different world languages and putting them together with machine translation like Google Translator kind of systems to let them work together and working together make the final translations usable and accessible and much faster and more accurate so that it can be deployed in real time in situations that warrant it. But lately, the last couple of years, I've been working on a lot of cognitive science things, figuring out how sounds and words work in the brain. How do kids take all the input from the world and convert it to categories of sounds? And what happens when you learn these categories in one language as a child, and then, like myself, you move to America, and all of a sudden you're exposed to a completely different system with different vowels and consonants. How does that affect your perception and your ability to communicate? Why does a child growing up in Russia end up with a different grammar than a child learning language in America? What are the properties of the input that guide that? So these are the kinds of questions I've been asking. My application highlights a lot of the work I've done here, but I want to point at two things that I think, you know, if I look back at the last 4 years, or actually the last 32 years if I consider my life, I'm probably most proud of, and one is here at UMD and one was before. I spent a lot of time involved with community organizing, and I helped found a nonprofit organization called Epoca. It's ex-prisoners and prisoners organizing for community advancement, and we're taking people who are incarcerated, people coming out and reintegrating with society, and working together with community leaders to really build a more positive environment, and not just to give these people opportunities to re-engage in society and kind of have a piece of the American dream, but also building a culture of mutual respect, mutual opportunity, helping each other out. And most importantly, it was about building power and a sense of power for people who traditionally have been denied it. And this is something that translates across this, the spectrum, whether you're working with ex-prisoners or with high school students. It's about building power, building knowledge, giving them a chance to see what they can accomplish themselves, given the tools they already have, just by, not to be cliche, but hard work, perseverance, and knowing how to start. And here at University of Maryland, being involved with the language science community as a whole, we've been building up a chance to both go out into the area high schools and middle schools, but also bring them to campus. We've been engaged in a program that I helped expand to bring high school students here, visit labs, have discussions with grad students, but also sending scholars out into the community, out to Montgomery Blair High School, to area middle schools, do science fairs and career days at elementary schools. And it all comes down to this idea that you're not just isolated from the world. You're engaged in it, and you're giving these people the tools that can help them create a better reality for themselves. And it doesn't matter if they're reintegrating from prison or going on to middle school or considering whether to be the first person in their family to attend a 4-year degree granting institution. You're ultimately creating a better place for all of us by participating in these acts and giving others the opportunity to engage them, not just kind of being off isolated from the community on your own. I'd say the graduate community here at Maryland, but even more so the whole academic community here at Maryland, is really great for fostering these types of works and endeavors. The support and engagement you get when you talk to grad students from all the different disciplines about going out and building this outreach group to go to area high schools to get engaged in the community is great. People aren't afraid to use their time because they're so busy. It's that they haven't been given an opportunity to do this. So you can work together, and you have all the tools and resources and just manpower and energy there to just create these wonderful systems and opportunities. And I think sometimes the grad students, we have undergrads working with us, of course, too. I'm more familiar with the grad population. The grad students get almost more out of this than the people they're engaging with, because they come out of here and wherever they end up as professors, industry leaders, they now know how to take their experiences and start opportunities like this elsewhere. And this comes back to the whole, providing others opportunities, not just doing something good yourself, but building and kind of expanding and paying it forward. Obviously, I didn't just come in and do this myself. There's a lot of people here at Maryland who really helped me along the way and really inspired me. And I think, I could go on and on, people from administration, professors, my own students, but my first advisor here, Philip Resnick, he really helped set the tone where when about a year into my program, I really was unsure about the work we were doing, and I just didn't know if it was inspiring me and making me happy. And I came to him and very worried what he would say, and his response was largely that, well, first of all, he said, why didn't you come to me earlier? We could have saved you a lot of wasted effort working on a project you didn't want to be involved in. But he said, like, look, if you want to be doing outreach, community development, getting a little more work done on this grant is not the only reason you're here. You got to be doing what you want to be doing, what makes you happy, and ultimately what you're going to look back on as formative experiences for you. Don't let some project or some paper, some poster at some conference distract you from building a life over the next 5-6 years that you want. And I thought, grad school, I'm just here to fulfill the requirements of this grant, but it's much more than a research institution. It's this is where people are building their life. This is where people are having their first children. This is where people are building friendships that'll last the rest of their life, the connections and networks that are going to sustain them for the rest of their careers. And he really highlighted that for me, and kind of I felt more almost like as if someone had given me permission to go out and still obviously focused on research. We are a research institution, but I kind of felt all of a sudden a little more liberated. So I definitely am very thankful for him. He definitely helped me along the way here. 4 years into my program, I can honestly say that I wish I had more than a year and a half left. I still have a lot of things I want to do here. A lot of programs to develop, a lot of good research to do, a lot of personal connections to continue building, and I don't feel like I can be done with everything I now want to do in the next year and a half. But I'm really looking forward to what Maryland still has to offer me, both the state and the University of Maryland College Park and my linguistics department here. I think it's still gonna, the next year and a half at least, maybe 2.5 years, depending on how things go, I think will be incredibly formative. There's all these wonderful questions and all these wonderful people and all these wonderful institutions to develop. It's going to be a fun ride.